this podcast on what Morph training can offer you, but specifically on the cough webinar that I recently presented and that's available on the Morph educational platform. Hi, I'm Emily Kennedy and I'm a locality lead pharmacist in Dumfries and Galloway, and I am a Morph Associate Director. And what that means is that I help to formulate the clinical education content for our primary care training that Morph offer. And very enthusiastic about that. I help host webinars, and most recently I've presented a webinar on the cough therapy area. And that's because my specialist area is respiratory as well as pain. I have written the Common Clinical Conditions and Minor Ailments Distance Learning pack for NHS Education Scotland, which has also been made available to CPPE in England and equivalent bodies in Northern Ireland and Wales. So it's a well-known resource, and that's drawing on a lot of my background from community pharmacy. And most recently, in the last 20 years, I've been involved in general practice, and I'm an independent prescriber and very involved in a lot of therapy areas. And obviously cough is a really important area for me to consider when I'm looking at my patients in asthma and respiratory and in general and COPD. And in particular, I think it's just really important to highlight, why would our patients be coming and consulting us around cough, especially in this era of COVID-19. And really, it's to emphasize a lot of important management issues around cough, particularly managing the acute coughs, which are often self-limiting, but we may get patients coming in requesting antibiotics. So it's assessing those coughs that present and should they be prescribed antibiotics or not. But also it's also considering those red flag areas of chronic cough where cough has existed for longer than 8 weeks. What are the underlying conditions that we may be having to rule out? Are we looking at red flags for more serious underlying pathology, such as lung cancers, etc., and looking for the specific diagnostic areas that we need to be aware of, and referral criteria, and also considering treatment for symptomatic relief or for underlying conditions that we may be able to manage and diagnose for. So it's really giving a broader insight into coughs, which may on the surface seem quite an easy therapeutic area to manage, both from a community pharmacy aspect and a primary care pharmacy aspect. So hopefully it's something that would appeal to quite a broad knowledge area for pharmacists. This cough webinar is recorded and available on the Morph educational platform. And if you're interested, you can go and have a look at the Morph training site. And as well as that full recording of the cough therapy area, there's also a whole host of other recordings that are available through the Morph members area on the educational platform. But also there's the Telegram discussion groups in various therapy areas, one of which is respiratory, but there's also pain, cardiovascular and diabetes Telegram discussion groups for Morph members, which are a really good way of having some peer discussion. So if you do have a problematic respiratory patient, you might want to ask for advice on that Telegram discussion area. For further updates for Morph, you can also look at our social media platforms. So we have presence on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. So it's really good to keep involved and keep abreast of any webinars that are available, any other sort of current knowledge or current events being hosted by Morph. So it's really just to sort of encourage you to have a look at that. And you'll see from the recording of the cough webinar that we do get really good attendance from a whole range of primary care pharmacists. It's an interactive webinar. We get people able to ask questions, pose questions on, again, patients that they may have encountered. And it really does help improve and enhance and enrich your clinical practice. So it's a really good opportunity to have that interactive discussion with a clinical expert through the webinar platform. Thanks for listening to this podcast on what Morph can offer you, and it'd be great to see you in the future.